Alright guys, we're going to continue looking at factoring. The method we're going to be using here is called the difference of squares. Now first thing to notice is this method is only going to work when you're working with binomials or when we have two terms. Second thing is they call it difference because all of them must be subtraction. And squares, they must all be perfect squares. You'll notice that the numbers we have here are 25, 36, and 81. All of these are what we call perfect squares. We can take the square root of these without getting any kind of a decimal. Alright? So what we want to do is find the factors of each of these terms. In other words, what is it that we can multiply together to get an x squared minus 25? Alright, so to begin with, in order to get an x squared minus 25, we're going to have to multiply two binomials. So we're going to start by putting two sets of parentheses. Alright, so we're going to get two binomials. Each set of parentheses is for each of the binomials. We'll start with the obvious, x squared. The only way we can get an x squared is by multiplying an x with another x. X times x is x squared. The next thing we're going to do is take a look at that 25. What we want to know is what is the square roots of 25. The square root of 25 is 5. So we're going to put that 5 here, and we're also going to put that 5 here. Now, in order to get an x squared minus 25, when we multiply these two binomials, one is going to have to be a minus, and the other is going to have to be a plus. Therefore, the factors of an x squared minus 25 would be an x minus 5 and an x plus 5. These are the factors of x squared minus 25. Let's try another one. Let's try x squared minus 36. Again, two binomials multiplied together will give me this x squared minus 36. To begin with, in order to get the x squared, we need to multiply an x with another x. X times x is x squared. Now we're going to take the square root of 36, and the square root of that 36 is a 6. So we're going to put a 6 here and another one over here. And in order to get that x squared minus 36, we're going to have one with a minus and another with a plus. Therefore, these are the factors of x squared minus 36. If we were to multiply x minus 6 with an x plus 6, we would end up with an answer or a polynomial of x squared minus 36. Alright, let's try number 3. X squared minus 81. Again, same process. We'll start with two sets of parentheses. To get the x squared, we need to multiply an x with another x. 81 is a perfect square. We can take the square root of that. The square root of 81 is 9, so we'll put a 9 here, and another one here. And we're going to have one with a minus and another with a plus. Therefore, these are the factors of x squared minus 81. Alright, let's continue looking at a couple more examples. We're going to continue with difference of squares. Now again guys, remember this is only going to work with binomials. It's got to be subtraction, and we've got to be working with perfect squares. Got to be able to take the square root of these numbers without getting any kind of decimals. Okay? So, number 4, we got 4x squared minus 81. Just like the first three examples, we're going to start with two sets of parentheses. To get a 4x squared, we're going to need to multiply a 2x times a 2x. Notice what I did there was take the square root of 4. The square root of 4 is 2. Matter of fact, the square root of x squared is x. When we multiply a 2x with another 2x, we get a 4x squared. Now let's go ahead and take the square root of that 81. The square root of 81 would be a 9, so we'll put a 9 here and another here. And all we got to do now is put a minus and a plus. These are the two factors of 4x squared minus 81. Again, if we were to multiply those two together, the answer we come up with would be a 4x squared minus 81. Number 5, 36x squared minus 49. So again, we're going to start off with two sets of parentheses. We're going to start by taking the square root of that 36x squared, which would be a 6x. So we'll put a 6x here and another here. We're also going to take the square root of that 49, which would be a 7. So we'll put a 7 in that first set of parentheses and a 7 in that second set of parentheses. We'll put a minus and a plus, and there we have it. These are the factors of 36x squared minus 49. And one last one here, number 6, 9x squared minus 4. Again, we're going to start off with two sets of parentheses. We'll take the square root of 9x squared, which would be a 3x. So we're going to put a 3x here and another here. We're going to take the square root of 4, which would be a 2. And now we'll put a minus, plus, and now we have our two factors. Just a quick little reminder, guys. When we're working with factors, remember order doesn't matter. So if I wanted to, I could also write this answer as 3x plus 2 and 3x minus 2. These would be the same factors, just written in a different order. So the order doesn't matter. You can have the positive or the plus first, and then the minus. That wouldn't make a difference.